After outbreak of virus, we have to work from home. Many of people, we can find that they have learned some new stuff during this period of working from home. For me, I've started to learn cooking. I'm actually a kind of cooking idiot. I never stepped into kitchen before this virus. Over the past month, I started to get interest in cooking, and I've learned cooking, and these are some of my learning outcomes over the past month. And you just imagine that 1 month ago, I could literally do nothing about this. But in 1 month, I could improve my cooking skill. How did I make it? Actually, the secret is that I used one cooking apps. This cooking apps is like Let's Cook in Hong Kong. In the cooking apps, many people will share their recipe, many people will share their cooking experience. And actually we can follow step by step how people cook. You can even interact with others on the apps. You can contribute your way of improving cooking, and also you can share your own learning outcomes. So that's the secret of how I improve my cooking. What's the implication for the schools in the face of this massive change? We know in the face of this massive change, many schools have to start online teaching. This is also something new for schools. And we can see different ways of reacting to this online teaching. Then we can see actually the secret, if a school can cope with this online teaching better, the secret is usually that the school has a stability for change. Everybody actually needs some stability if we want to have change. What is a stability for a school? For me, I think for me who have learned cooking, I think that stability is that my basic learning skills. I know how to learn things. And for school, if a school has to have that stability for change, that means the school needs to have that collective capacity. So schools need to intentionally develop teachers' collective capacity, but mainly before any massive change has ever happened. So if a school has, the teachers have the collective capacity, and the school has a community of learners, then the school will have much easier ways to deal with change. That's what we can learn from cooking and also from the school's coping strategies of online teaching. And another concern is that if we have to spend time build that shareable knowledge base, accumulate our teaching materials, accumulate the different versions of lesson plans, then that's time consuming, and teachers do not have that much time. But I would like to say that it is a time worth spending. Sometimes in schools, we have to learn how to lose time in order to gain time. It looks like you have to spend time accumulating a lot of materials and sitting together with your peer teachers to get that shareable knowledge base. But actually, when you have that shareable knowledge base, then it will save you more time. Just like when we have that cooking recipe, cooking apps, and that will save me much more time to follow that recipe to learn cooking. So we need to learn how to lose time in order to gain time. Then how can we build that shareable and storable knowledge base? It involves every teacher in the school to jointly construct those teaching materials. And teachers need to also transform those teaching materials in their classrooms, and they need to preserve, accumulate these teaching materials, and continuously deepen the meaning of effective teaching. Some common strategies may involve deprivatized teaching. Teachers need to open their classrooms to their peers, co-design their lesson plans, and collaborate in their teaching, and iteratively plan, practice, and reflect on your teaching. So in this way, a school can build some joint knowledge base. A possible model we can refer to is a model which has been embedded in the classrooms of Chinese schools for many, many years. It is an iterative model involving joint lesson planning, peer observation, feedbacks, and lesson improvement. And we can see that in this model, there are three indispensable elements: deprivatized teaching, storable and shareable knowledge base, and a validation for improvement. So when the schools have a collaborative lesson planning, the lesson plan will be stored, and the different feedback notes will be stored, and also the different versions of lesson refinement will be stored. And this will become the basis for validation of further improvement. Another thing we have learned from this online teaching after this outbreak of virus is that sometimes it is more effective if schools can be networked. One example is also from Shanghai.
Okay, so when they're studying at home, every day they will watch this TV, which is a channel, just a normal channel in Shanghai. And the classes, each day they have 6. So the classes on here will come on at the set times which are listed here. And they are pre-recorded classes with a teacher, of course. And today, she has these 6 classes: English, Math, PE, Chinese, Math, PE, English, Art, and Science. So we follow this schedule. And of course, with no teachers, it's her grandparents that are here to look after her.
And in Shanghai, after this outbreak of virus, and we have learned that some students, they may not have mobile devices for online learning. And also, if each school has to develop that online teaching, it also costs a lot of time. So in Shanghai, the municipal government has coordinated, and for each single grade, from grade 1 to grade 12, they have organized a group of teachers from different subjects to have some teaching according to the lesson plans and record this teaching, and then they show this teaching on TV. So that means for every student, if they turn on TV, they can watch this teaching, and this is accessible to all the students. So you can think about that this kind of storable and shareable knowledge base can be built not only by teachers within your school, this can be built by your school together with your neighboring school, or together with schools in your same sponsor body, or even schools across Hong Kong. Building a shareable and storable knowledge base. In this way, teachers will become co-designers and solution assemblers. And in this process of increasing personalization, teachers will also have more knowledge and also more participation. Also, at the same time, they need to shoulder more responsibilities. Each teacher will contribute their teaching to the common goal, and we know that goal is ongoing improvement of student learning. Every teacher will contribute to this goal. Going back to my cooking, and I know that I've learned cooking definitely with the support of that recipe apps. However, that recipe apps is only create conditions for my cooking learning. And it is still, finally, I have to cook the meal. I'm the person who will cook the meal. The same as schools. And when the schools have that shareable and storable knowledge base, it is important, but it is only an important condition for the improvement of teachers' teaching and improvement of teacher capacity. And finally, teachers are the persons who will cook the meal. They will be finally cook the meal, and they will finally teach, and they will finally improve student learning.